Okay, so welcome back. So we were dealing with unequal arm balance, right? So I was just explaining you about the knife edge, how it will be constrained for balancing the arm as well as the load arm with respect to the test force, which will be generated due to the tensile force which will be exerted by the gravitational force which come across with respect to the standard force what you are applying across our power arm. So this distance A will be fixed, whereas the B will can be varied, and even the knife edge Q point will be fixed to balance the entire arm balance. Okay, so then I told you to apply moment equation for both the load arm as well as the power arm. So for balancing the moments, you will be always having the test force into the load arm A will be equal to the gravitational force which is exerted by the standard mass into the power arm distance B. So this you can see, right? So Ft into the load arm distance A across the constraint will be always equal to the gravitational force exerted by the standard arm into the distance of the power arm, which is nothing but B. So then only you can tell that the unequal arm is being balanced at the knife edge Q. So any variation in that will be associated with the pointer which will move and show the variations. So this is for balancing. And as a result, so this is the equation what we have to achieve at the balance of moments. So in order to test the force, you can then reduce the equation. So test force will be equal to the gravitational force into B by A. So here B is the variable. So and then before that, so you can split up this force is nothing but our mass into acceleration, the gravity. So you can write F suffix G as M into G into B by A, right? So here M is also the constant, the value of G is also the constant, right? So what is the variable here? The fixed distance of the load of the load arm is also fixed, right? So only the variable here is the load arm distance A is fixed, right? Only the variable what we have is B. So in this the entire values are constant provided G is also constant, only the variable value will be B. Therefore the test force what we have to calculate will be always directly proportional to the distance B in which our standard mass is being pivoted, because remaining everything remains the same. So it depends upon how you vary the power arm distance. Accordingly, you will get the value of our unknown mass. So you can do the trial and error and then get the optimized value for our unknown mass in comparison to that of the standard mass what we have to compare. So that is what been told. So here M is constant and the test force is applied at a fixed distance A. I told you this also from the knife edge. So the right hand of the beam is the power arm, which could be calibrated in terms of tensional in terms of test force F. So this is the method which has been used in order to calculate the unknown mass. And in different location, if you're using this unequal arm balance, there will be slight variation in the gravitational forces also. So accordingly, you will be getting some corrections, yeah, some modifications in the value of the unknown mass what we have to determine. So this is about unequal arm balance, and if they ask you with a sketch, you should be able to draw the sketch and explain the terms. So this unequal arm balance is usually used for measurement of tensile force. With some modifications, it can also be used for testing compression, shearing and bending forces also. So you can measure here the unknown mass. Along with that, this instrument is capable of determining the tensile force and with some accessories or modification it is also able to go up with measuring compression, shearing and bending forces also. And the unknown mass can also be determined. The same thing for the unknown mass also. So therefore the here you have the equation F is equal to m into g. So for unknown mass specifically it will be the test force is equal to the mass of the test force associated into g. So here what happens for balancing, you will write m1 into g into a. So m1 will be the mass, unknown mass, and value of g into a is the fixed distance from the load arm. So that will be equal to m into g into the distance of the power arm. And again if you to determine ft, so you will use the okay, after this you will just determine the value of the tensional force. For that it will be equal to m into b by a, remaining thing get cancelled, right? G gets cancelled, so m is that is equal to m into b by a. So here entire thing is constant, only the variable is b. So by varying the B, again the unknown mass could be determined, and the load arm and the power arm can also be calibrated by using the value of B. So it helps in calibrating at what distance you will get the accurate comparison of the known standard with that of unknown standards. So this is how an unequal arm balance equipment will be used to measure an unknown mass. Also, it could be used for tensile force. With some modifications, it can also be used for compression, shear, yeah, bending forces. So this was about the unequal arm balance. And then comes about multi-lever platform scale. So what happens in case of multi-lever platform scale? So this multi-lever platform scales are used when you have a need to measure large amount of weights. So previously we were studying to measure only small amount of weights, either it is an equal or unequal methods, unequal arm methods, that was associated to measure small values of weights. But when there is a need to measure large weights, you should be using a multi-lever platform scale. So this is how a multi-lever platform scale looks like. Both the images are same, only thing it is little bit darker. So this I have just scanned it again and shown you. Okay, so now I can see students, one second. Now it is showing 40. Just a second, I'll take the screenshot. Okay. So why there is a need for multi-lever is whenever we want to measure large amount of weights, we use multi-lever platform. So that you should be knowing. So what happens in this case, you saw how does it looks. So now let us go step by step. In this system, a large weight W which has to be measured in terms of two small weights. One is called as the this one poise weight, and other one is called as the W suffix G. So where WP will be the weight of the poise and WS will be the weight of the pan. So the large amount of weight which has to be measured could be bifurcated again into two segments. So here it is seen where WP will be the poise weight and WS will be the pan weight. So here you will be having the pan in which you will load the standard load. Okay, so that is the pan weight, and here you will be having a poise weight in order to keep this stable. Along with that you will be having an adjustable counter of the weight, so it sees that it is in exactly balanced position. For that you need a poise weight, what we call it as WP, and associated pan weight what we add is called as WS. So the system is provided with an adjustable counterpoise which is used to get the initial balance. I told you already, so you have an adjustable counterpoise here, a counterweight associated with the poise weight. So this helps in getting the balancing of the required arm. So before unknown load W is applied to the platform, what to be done? The poise weight Vp is set at 0 of the beam scale and the counter piece is adjusted to obtain initial 0 balance. So in order to check the given arm is balanced, so you have to see that the poise weight associated here with respect to the pan weight loaded will show 0 reading. Then only you can tell that the given arm is balanced. That will be achieved along with the help of adjustable counter weights. So you keep on adding here, reducing the weight in the pan until and unless it balances the poise weight with the help of adjusting counterweight. So you will get the value of the poise weight to be 0. Then you can say that it is balanced. So this is to be done later. In order to simplify the analysis, it is assumed that the weight W can be replaced by two arbitrary weights W1 and W2. We know that we are using multi-lever platform to measure large weights. So large weights here will be replaced by two arbitrary weights. So we will divide the given weight into two sectors, W1 and W2. So that will be laid in the platform over here as it is shown. So this is the main weight which is divided into W1 and W2. And also it is assumed that poise weight Wp is at 0 and when the unknown weight W is applied, it is entirely balanced by the weight Ws in the pan. So I told you initially we keep Wp as 0 and we assume the poise weight to be 0 when you add an unknown weight also. So when you add an unknown weight W is applied, then also it is entirely balanced by the weight what we add in the pan. First initially you will add the weight, you will adjust the counterweight and see that Wp is 0. And also when you add on the unknown mass which you have to measure in two sectors W1 and W2, then also you will assume the value of Wp is 0. Provided due to external load, you can add some weights if needed in pan such that Wp remains 0. So this simple initiation work has to be done when you insert a huge load which has to be measured using multi-lever platform scale. So therefore what happens here? So if you want to check the moment equation for balancing, T into B will be equal to Ws into A. So how you will show here? So this is the tension which has been applied in the entire beam. So T into B is equal to Ws is nothing but the weight in the pan into A. A will be fixed over here. Which is the distance B. So distance B, T into the B where it has been pivoted. So from the constraint, the tension which has been generated due to the balancing of the arm with the applied weight in the pan, the tension will be created in the opposite edge. So that will be equal to T into the distance B where it is been constrained at the knife edge. So that will be equal to Ws into the distance of the arm A. And because I explained you, or even this is the same in case of our unequal arm balance where we apply for balancing what is the condition. So that will be equal to the weight of what you added in the pan and to the arm length. So here it is also the same. Ws into A will generate the tensional force which will be equal to the tension generated here into the distance of the arm from the adjustable counterweight to the knife edge. Okay, so this is the same. T into B will be equal to WS into A for balancing. And you have to apply one more equations related to the platform associated down for the unknown mass. So that is T into C. So here we can see, so this is the entire, you have two constraints here and you have two platforms. So this is one platform. On this platform, the other platform of the arm is associated where it is bearing the given main load into two loads W1 and W2. So these are the two constraints. So now we are focusing with respect to this constraint. So the tensional force.